Welcome back for this episode of Labor Finders TV. I'm Michael LaJudas, and today we're talking about hiring the right type of worker for your business needs. Being short on staff is not a situation you ever want to find yourself in, no matter what kind of business you're in. But before you start posting ads and getting into the recruiting process, you need to have a strong idea of what type of hire will work best for you. So we have 3 different types of employees that we're going to take a look at. Number 1 is temp workers. As the name suggests, temporary workers are those who are employed with your company for a predetermined period of time, usually 3 to 6 months. This type of hiring is common in all types of industries, especially in general labor, IT, hospitality, and accounting, just to name a few. These workers are ideal for projects that require short-term help, and once that worker is no longer needed, you can let them go without the extra paperwork and expense. They also save you from having to provide benefits like healthcare, paid vacation, and 401k, as these workers are usually directly employed by a staffing agency, and you are not actually a direct employer in this case. Situations where you'll likely need a temp are when an employee suddenly quits, an essential worker goes on vacation or is out sick, a client suddenly pushes up a project deadline. What also helps determine if a temp is right for you is the level of training required for the job. Chances are you're already overwhelmed, so you may not have much time to spend training someone who won't be working long with you. Also, a risk you might face is that a temp employee may leave prematurely if another opportunity presents itself. Now, the second type of workers are temp to hire workers. Getting the best of both hiring worlds, so to speak, these types of workers are brought on as a temporary worker who is given the opportunity to be hired full-time at the end of their work assignment. Unlike regular temporary workers, they may be less likely to leave and have more incentive for sticking around for the chance to be made permanent. This arrangement also allows you to see if there's a long-term need for the position as well, and you'll have the chance to test out an employee without the commitment of a direct hire. You'll also have a greater chance of getting a worker who is extra motivated to go above and beyond the job description. Keep in mind, usually their ultimate goal is to get hired at the end of the assignment. So a temp to hire employee may be the right choice if you are unsure if there's a permanent need for a position, if you want to see if a candidate fits well with the company culture, or if you need to see a potential employee perform well before making a long-term commitment. On the flip side, while you may be able to meet your short-term work needs, you may run into the same drawbacks as with a temporary worker. At the end of the trial period, a candidate may not work out, and you'll have to start over finding and training someone else. And the third type of worker is direct hire workers. On the other end of the hiring spectrum, direct hire employees come into your organization as a permanent member of your team from the start. Like other types of hires, they need to be trained, but it may be more extensive since these workers are expected to stick around for a long time. Not only do you need to feel confident that they can do the work, but that they embody your company's goals and fit into the culture. You may need a direct hire worker if your business needs to grow and stay competitive, there's a steady stream of work and not enough workers, or if present employees are constantly overworked. A big drawback of a direct hire employee is the hiring and firing process. Both are costly in time and money. There's also an increase in overhead since salaries for direct hires tend to be higher than for a temporary worker. And added company benefits can also increase the overall cost, which costs are otherwise usually covered by a staffing agency for temporary workers. No matter what your hiring needs are, make sure you take your time to evaluate each option thoroughly against your company goals. And of course, staffing agencies are always a good resource to lean on as well for for these kind of decisions. And so that's going to do it for this episode of Labor Finders TV. Be sure to check in for our next video and visit our blog at laborfinders.com for more great insight and advice on staffing your business.